Covert narcissism isn't obvious, it's insidious. It's not the one that yells the loudest or demands the most attention. It's the one who manipulates quietly, making you feel like you're losing your grip on reality while they stay in control. You've seen it play out. They make you feel like everything is your fault, even when you're the one holding the relationship together. Their words cut deep, but they're cloaked in passive aggression. So it can be hard to call them out. They punish you with silence. They pull the strings of your guilt without saying a word. But here's what they don't want you to know. Their strength isn't real. It's an illusion built on your self-doubt. Every time you question yourself, every time you shrink back or apologize unnecessarily, you're feeding their power. So let's flip the script. See, the fact that you're even questioning this dynamic means you're waking up. You're becoming conscious. You're seeing the patterns for what they are. That's the first step, and that's a big one. So let's get practical here. Spot the tactics. Covert narcissists thrive on confusion. Next, start identifying the behaviors. The guilt trips, the silent treatment, the dark psychology, the subtle digs. When you see these things clearly, they lose their grip. And reclaim your voice. They want you silent because silence keeps you compliant. Speak up, not to change them, but to remind yourself that your voice matters and redefine the narrative. You've been made to feel like the problem. That ends now. Their manipulation is about their insecurity, not your inadequacy. Walk differently. Stop seeking their approval. Stop trying to fix what's broken in them. Focus your energy on building the version of you that doesn't need their permission to thrive and be healthy. Here's the truth. A covert narcissist's greatest fear is losing control, and the moment that you step out of their web, they lose their grip. So don't let their shadow define your identity. You're more than their projections. You're more than their manipulation. You've endured enough. Now it's time to rise. Find your clarity, set your boundaries, reclaim your power. They don't get to control your story anymore.
I've been doing these duet videos for a couple of days now, and the reason I'm doing that is because I can't say it any better than these people say it. I mean, I've lived this, and just starting to register with me what it is that I've been living, and it's shocking. If you go back and you look at my conversations with Michelle through the years and even recently, I've known something was wrong. And I've gone all the way from, Asperger's and autism to type 5 personality to, recently I've accused him of being a psychopath. And I don't mean like a violent psychopath, but just somebody who has nothing inside, somebody who just has nothing really fit until I was asked if I thought that he might be a covert narcissist. And of course I was like, what is it? What is that? I've never heard that. I've heard of a narcissist, but not a covert narcissist. And turns out that's an entirely different cluster B disorder. And it is a disorder, and there's no real hope for it. There's no... These people can't get therapy. They can't get cured. This is just who they are. And I knew when I had to contact Michelle about this negotiation about the land and everything. And there were a few conversations that we had where it seemed almost like I was talking to a real human being. But the disdain he had for my pain and the mockery, I mean, there was even mockery in his response to me, suggesting that that my pain wasn't real, and that I'm using this as the, manipulation, and that I'm the problem, and that I'm the danger, and he has to protect himself from me. No, honey, all he has to do is protect himself from accountability. That's all he's doing now, and it's all he's ever done. He cannot... I hear these people talking about harsh reactions to constructive criticism, Do you know the boy doesn't even know how to sweep and mop a floor? He doesn't even know how to hold a broom or how to sweep things into a dustpan. And I would try to show him how to do these basic things. And this is how he was raised. He was raised by a mother with no hygiene. I mean, she couldn't take care of her house, and she doesn't know how to do these things herself. They would be eating and drinking. When I was in their house, they would be eating and drinking out of dirty dishes that had stuff crusted on them. And I mean, one time when I was there, I went through and cleaned the whole house. Not that I'm a real neat freak, because I'm not. I live with animals. I have a chicken in my floor right now, a chicken. You know, I'm not like super neat. I like living in a barn. I would choose that over a nice house any day, as long as the barn's nice. And this barn is not nice. But anyway, you know, it's like he was being raised by wolves, and she displays these hateful narcissistic tendencies herself. And well, you know what? They learn it somewhere. I don't think narcissists are born. It's not hereditary. I've heard that many times. All he had to do was emulate his mother, and there you go. But then, you know, even the way he left me when he returned to France, and he lied to me about where he was going. He lied to me about his intentions. He offered me no comfort whatsoever. And I suspected it was deliberate. I suspected he was doing it on purpose to try to hurt me. I don't care how freaking autistic a person is. If they're functioning in society and they can choose a bus route and a bus ticket, and they can buy plane tickets and effectively plan a trip and effectively figure out how to lie to keep you from knowing where they're going and what they're doing, you can't sit there and tell me that they don't understand how to deliberately neglect you emotionally to the point that it makes you crazy and hurts you. He knew what he was doing, because by this time he's polished these skills. He's good at this. That's why I feel sorry for those people over in Uzel. They don't know what they're getting into. And I don't feel any compulsion to protect them, because they're coming on as his new supply. And they're rising to the occasion to protect these poor, innocent people who've been... Y'all are in for a ride, but you'll see. I won't even have to lift a finger. Y'all are going to find out the hard way. But, I mean, there was a reason Patricia's neighbors hated her in Wazirs. There's a reason they hated her. And I tried to defend her too, because I was stupid, but I see it now. But anyway, when he called me from a country that he wasn't even supposed to have been in, you know what? One of the first things he did was start mocking the Costa Rican way of life. And oh my, isn't it nice to be able to have roofs on houses that aren't made of tin? And and he went on and said a few things, just very, very disdainful toward the Costa Rican way of life. And of course, that's a sensitive subject for me, because I love it here. But to watch this man who defrauded me in the beginning of thinking that he wanted an eco project and he wanted a sustainable lifestyle, and he drags us off into these places, and of course he blames it on me, but he's the one who wanted to have a farm and be sustainable and all this. And of course I try to make it happen, because that's what I can do. I knew I could. And then he turns around and mocks the very people who embraced and welcomed him. That's what he did to me. I could tell stories. I could tell a lot of stories about him mocking me for a strip of cloth. I'll tell that story in another video, but just mocking me because I can't wear tight clothes. I can't wear things I break out in. You see these things on my face from my CPAP mask. A CPAP mask causes these lesions. Clothes cause it too, and I was not wanting to wear a certain type of clothing, and he mocked me in front of his mother when she was here last year. Hindsight's 2020, and when I realized the depth of how empty he is, and I look back, I'm having to overlay a completely different understanding of the past 7 years over what I thought I knew. And I'm having to take a fresh look at every action, every response, everything that he did and we went through, and to realize that none of it was real. Well, I'm starting to get a handle on it, but it's not easy, so ciao.